So hey people, I hope you're good. Today I just wanted to go through something a little bit morbid. Uh, So I wanted to go through something that people probably think about a bit. So I wanted to go through cancer and why it's so scary. And one reason why it's so scary is because it's really difficult to deal with, difficult to treat. And today I wanted to go through why. So I'll just be going through a few of the reasons why it's so difficult to treat. So number one, self-sufficiency. So a normal cell just doesn't do what it wants. They don't just divide on their own. You see, there are molecules, these things on the cells, on the surface of the cells, that stimulate them to multiply. They receive a signal from the body, and that's what gets them to divide. You could think of it like a key to a car. Think of the signal molecules like the key. If you don't have a key to start the car, the car won't start. Therefore, without the signal to grow and divide, the cell won't divide. But the thing about a cancer cell is that a cancer cell either doesn't need that signal to divide, or even if it even if there is only a little bit of signaling molecule, it will it will take advantage of that little amount and divide a lot. So number two, insensitivity to anti-growth. So just like the body produces signals to stimulate growth, there are also signals to stop growth because you don't want anything growing forever. Cancer cells have the ability to resist those signals that prevent growth, and so they keep multiplying and multiplying even in the presence of signals that stop growth. Number three, limitless replicative potential. So a cancer cell is amazing in a kind of messed up way. They are virtually immortal in a sense. So a normal cell could only divide up to a certain point until it becomes what we call senescent, basically too old to continue. This is because every time the cell divides, it becomes a little bit more damaged. And that's because every time the DNA replicates, there's a little bit of error in the DNA code. Even though there is DNA damage, there are these little protective mechanisms on the end of cells called telomeres, which protect against DNA damage. You could think of them like the aglets on the end of a shoelace that prevents the shoelace from unraveling. In a normal cell, the telomeres can only protect to a certain extent. So it seems that the telomeres on cancer cells help prevent senescence more than a normal cell. One of the ways it could do this is by producing an enzyme called telomerase. And telomerase helps rebuild telomeres. So, because these telomeres are so much better, the cell is less likely to reach that point of senescence where it can't divide anymore. So, number four, induced blood vessel growth. If you remember before, I mentioned that for a cell to grow, the body has to send a signal for growth. So you see, cancer cells actually can produce their own growth signals to cause other things to grow. What it does is that it sends off a signal to cause blood vessels to grow, and these blood vessels, by growing around the cancer cells, give it more nutrients, more oxygen, and feeds it more so that it can multiply and grow even faster. Okay, so think of the blood vessels like a highway, and because of this growth signal, now the highway is becoming wider. Now more cars, i.e. oxygen and nutrients, can get to the cancer cell. Number five, evading immunity. So you want to hear something scary? We all have cancer growing in us right now. The thing is that our immune system is really good at getting rid of them most of the time. The thing that happens in some people is that the cancer cells just get away from the immune system and they get the ability to thrive and continue to grow and are not killed and eventually become the disease that we know. And finally, number 6, and probably the shortest one I have, survivability. So basically, cancer cells just know how to survive even when the environment is inhospitable, low oxygen, different fuel sources. The cancer cell just figures out what to do to continue living. And well, that's that. It's really a short video, not too much detail. If you would like me to get into more detail, I can, but these are just short points on why cancer can do what it can do. And I don't really see much of that information out there. So I thought it was a good idea to get people to understand what happens in cancer. So thank you to anybody that listens. This is only my second video. Good on work on improving and trying to get a bit more confident in how I speak. I guess it's just a journey. And thanks again.